Om Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amrutangamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. O Lord, please lead us from unreality to the reality, ignorance to the knowledge, and from death to immortality. Oh, peace, peace, peace. Dear devotees, it is almost like, I think, more than a month or 5, 6 weeks afterwards, we are having the class on Sadhana Panchakam. So, if you remember, 5 to 6 weeks before, we were discussing about the contentment and the forbearance. So, the different values or the virtues which every spiritual aspirant has to cultivate. Now, the question may come for all of us, Swamiji, you are giving the list of spiritual practices or the virtues or the spiritual disciplines one has to practice. One has to get into that. Why all of them are required? Why? Because all of them will prepare our body and mind to realize one's own nature. Just like, for an example, we have planted a flower plant or maybe a fruit plant. It is a sapling. If you don't put a fence, what happens? People with unmindful, they may stamp on it. Or the goat or sheep or a cow or a buffalo may eat away as a part of fodder. But if you protect it from a fence, then the sapling will grow as to the big plant. And still, if it has been taken care, apart from giving the water and the fertilizers and all, then slowly it becomes a small tree and then the huge tree. Then even nothing is required. People can sit below it. Even we can probably tie the cows or buffaloes and the sheep or the lambs or whatever. So the fence was required to protect the plant or the sapling to grow till to become a tree or a big plant. So similarly, our mind is very notorious thing. All of us, we know that. So how to tame it? The taming is what? Through spiritual disciplines. By doing all these things, our mind becomes the fit instrument to receive or to experience the self or the God. Because God exists everywhere. And my inherent nature itself is self. Then why am I not able to experience my own nature? Or why I am unable to experience the God's presence where is omniscient, omnipresent, and omnipotent? Why? Because there's a lot of dirt. It is in our mind. Say, for example, one more example, we can say that a magnet. If a magnet is soiled, too much, a good amount of thick layer is there, then the amount of attraction will reduce. But then the more it is more oily and a few layers of mud and other things were there, then you remove slowly, one by one, layer by layer. Then what happens? Its power, magnetic power gets increased or it gets manifested. Then it will be able to attract all the metals, especially iron like. So similarly, our inherent nature is divinity, no doubt. But unfortunately, in the due course of time, in the different lives, we have soiled our mind. We have added so much trash. So to clean up, all the spiritual disciplines are prescribed by the saints or the realized souls or by the scriptures. Now, one more sadhana, you can say sadhana or you can say discipline has been given by the author is Natu Vrutha Vakyam Samucharyatam, means avoid unnecessary talk. It doesn't mean that we should keep our mouth shut. No. I mean, talk is very essential. When we're living in the society, talk is essential. We have to talk. We have to communicate, isn't it? But it should be disciplined. Unnecessarily, we need not to talk. Unnecessary talk should be avoided, can be understood in different ways. One is that no one, on the Recently someone was asking, Swamiji, why you didn't tell me anything? Or why nowadays, why are you not telling me anything? I said, see, my dear, I have stopped giving free suggestion. Why? Because there is no use. It is waste of my time as well as waste of your time. Until otherwise you want, until otherwise you are in need of it, you don't ask for it or seek. I don't give free advice. Sometimes that also can be a wastage of time and talk. The other is, I didn't ask him opinion. How do I look like? Or how my costume look like? Or how things are looking like? But people voluntarily, they keep on start telling that, oh, this is good, this is not bad, this should have been like this should have been like that. So expressing their emotions, expressing their feelings unwantedly. No one asked you. Why are you telling? That also can be a unnecessary talk. And the third thing, which because we go for a lot of events and all, we have been invited, I see. First, they will send an email. Swami, are you free? Can you come for the event? Okay, fine. A date and time, and they have told. Then again, they will send one more email. Swami, can you send your biodata? Okay, done. Then they will ask, Swami, have you got any diet restrictions? Okay, fine. Then again, followed by one more email may come sometimes. Is we should come to pick you up, or will you be able to come yourself, or any vehicle arrangements are required. Like that, sometimes it goes 2 or 3 or 4 or 5, 6 emails or phone calls or messages. Again, there also, it is a wastage of time, energy, and talk. First, they asked me, when I gave my consent, they could have given a list of things in the email, whether vehicle arrangements are necessity. Have you got any food restrictions? Or do you need any other arrangements for your talk or for the program? So like this, they can think and they can make a list of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 or whatever, and they can send. So, and also, I can express my view in probably 4 or 5 sentences. And people, sometimes they take 10, 15, 20, 25 sentences they use to convey their idea. That is also, it is unnecessary talk. Apart from blabbering, I am saying that. People keep on commenting, keep on lamenting, people talking. That very subtle, very gross level, that we can understand. Apart from that, even these are the small corrections we have to make. So it should be precise, it should be very clear, and it should be straight, direct. If that conversation, if you can, with a soft and stern tone, if you can develop, lot of time and energy is saved. Now the question may come for all of you, why the scripture is insisting to control the talk or to control the tongue or the speech? Why? Yogasya sopanam vangnirodha. Patanjali Yoga Sutra, it says. What is that? The first step of yoga is to control the speech. Okay, fine. Patanjali is telling and he has told and you are quoting Swamiji. But why? Because lot of prana shakti goes away. When you are talking, your prana shakti goes away and your mano shakti gets reduced. You can one can make an experiment the whole day, or a good amount of blabbering, good amount of unnecessary talk you have done the day. And you come back to house and you try to sit for meditation, as daily used to sit for meditation. That day you sit for meditation, it is not that easy to sit for meditation. Why? Because you have spoken so much unnecessarily, your mind has been distracted and mental energy has oozed out. As a result, you will not be able to meditate. You will feel very difficult to concentrate. You will feel you don't have strength to sit for meditation or to practice meditation, to practice concentration. So all these things are, we can think of. And in the Bhagavad Gita, among the Vachika tapas, verbal discipline, Vachika tapas. One is physical austerity, the other is a verbal austerity. So the verbal austerity is also, we have to speak as how much ever is required, and all the time, most of the time, good words and kind words, and it should be in a calculated way. Otherwise, it will be wastage of time. And constructive talk, constructive discussions are essential, and we should definitely engage in it. But unnecessary talks and just gossip is to be shunned. And by gossiping, one is our energy is getting wasted, and unnecessarily sometimes in the flow, we will make statements by which our personal relationships can be hampered. People will judge our nature. People judge our personality. Who am I? Knowingly or unknowingly, in the gossip or in the loose talk, I will be displaying to the public who am I. I'm not speaking from a spiritual point of view. I'm speaking from the business transaction, Vyavahara point of view. So all these things are interesting and important. So we have to be very clear. For this, Socrates gave a beautiful test, or a beautiful framework he has given. If you are, before going to talk anything or to make a statement, to give a talk, you question yourself with these three questions. Is it true? If you want to say something, if you want to convey something, is it true? Yes, continue. Is it kind? Yes, continue. Is it essential? Okay, continue. All the three boxes, if it has been ticked, then you can go ahead. Otherwise, there is no need of talking these things. Is it true? Is it good and kind enough? Or is it essential? So these things has to be thought over. Now, the 31st spiritual discipline as given by Adi Shankaracharya is Audasinyam Avipyatam. Means Udasina Bhava is Audasinya. Be indifferent. Actually, the correct meaning is go beyond all dualities, actually. Don't get trapped into these dualities. Because Udasina has come from the word, Sanskrit word Udasinya come from Udasina. Ut means above, actually. Ut means above. Asina means staying or residing. So staying above means, one who is staying in the 10th floor or 15th floor or 20th floor in the apartment, or one who is staying in the terrace. Does it mean? So staying above, residing above means what? Go beyond the dualities. Stay above the dualities. That is what. Why? Because we give undue importance to day-to-day things, so many things, and we lose our time and energy unnecessarily. Why? For an example, I think recently it happened. A devotee was supposed to bring food. Then he or she didn't bring. Accidentally, or just I came out at that time, I saw some vehicle. I'm not sure about whether the same devotee came and went away. I'm not sure, because door is unlocked. There is no chance of going away. Somehow my mind started thinking, probably he came inside, or somehow he felt probably strange or whatever. That's why he went away. He didn't drop the food. Instead of that, he went away. Did I do any mistake? Did I hurt him anything? Or why did he do like this? So series of questions started coming in my mind all of a sudden. Then I told, oh mind, why are you getting disturbed yourself and why are you disturbing me? Because I'm not sure about the devotee. Because so many people will be going in the road. It's a common road. So many people someone would have parked for some time to answer a phone call and he might have gone. We do not know. So why are you making assumptions and why are you thinking guilty of yourself, or why are you making the situation complex? So stop it, I said, and I went then I continued my routine. So like this, so many, we will be struck in this type of complex of thoughts and emotions. One is based on imaginations. We think he is good, she is good, he is praising me, she is blaming me, he is mistaking me, she is mistaking me. Out of imaginations, we create a big castles. Apart from that, when people praise us, we are very happy. Then we feel we are in the top floor, or we are flying in the air, and we feel very happy, and a lot of emotional energy oozes out again there. And then the same person or some other person, he criticizes. He or she criticizes us, then immediately you are in the 5th floor or 10th floor, then you come and you go to basement, or still maybe if it is a further down floors, you will go it. So you're going so much up and down emotionally, mentally, then what happens? Lot of your emotional energy goes away. With such type of weak mind, we cannot meditate. We cannot do constructive things to longer to think. We cannot do creative things, actually. We may do routine work. Every day we're going to office and doing some regular program or cooking or cleaning. Some routine works we can do to some extent, but constructive work, really serious higher works, like for an example, maybe what do you say, research work, or writing an article, preparing for a talk, or some artwork, basically any higher aptitude involved or higher mindset involved works, it is not possible for us. Why? Because our mind is been dashed between these dualities. Someone praises me, immediately my ego get blotted, and I start thinking I'm flying in the air. And some criticism, a single just a criticism or even a message, WhatsApp message is enough to put me down. So these things keeps coming and going. We have to forbear, and we should not get tainted. We should not get disturbed by that. Hot and cold. Now, for example, Europe especially. Now we're in autumn season, and slowly, in this whole week, only one day I saw sunlight. So people, definitely Indians especially, we feel without sun, we feel difficulty. Vitamin D deficiency can be there. Apart from that, we feel morose. And I mean, people do ask, Swami, how do you stay in December, January alone, even you don't go anywhere? Why? Because it is cold and hardly sunlight is there. And I mean, the night time is more and more. It is long and the daylight is very less. How don't you feel depression? Don't you feel stress? Don't you feel bad? I say, no. How is it? Because I'm not depending on these things. Yes, I feel cold, no doubt. I have to wear a 2 or 3 layers, sometimes 2 or 3 layers, or I may have to put on heating. That's all fine. But otherwise, because there is no sunlight or daylight is less, that should not affect my mind. If you're not careful, generally, if you are living in the instinctive mindset, definitely all these things will affect us. Hot and cold, whether you want or not, whether you like it or not, whether I like it or not, you cannot change. Sunlight and daylight, with, oh, sun, I don't like this, so please get up early and use your sunset, let it be little late. I may shout at sun, but there is nothing going to change. Accept it and go beyond it. Similarly, happy and sorrow. Sometimes favorable and unfavorable circumstances, situations will come. Prizes and blame will come. Criticisms will come. And happy and sorrow will come. Profit and loss will come. Will come, will come, will come. We all know that. But it goes, it goes, it goes. We don't remember. Agama apayinaha. It comes and it goes. They are temporary in nature. So go beyond that. Understand that these are the dualities. They keep on coming and they keep on going. That understand it and go beyond it. That's what audasinya mabhipyatam means. Otherwise, we are so much bothered about these things in this empirical world, and we are not able to seek the higher things. So one has to be detached. That doesn't mean that you are insensitive. One should be insensitive, irresponsible, negligent, carelessness. No. Oh, someone scolds me. Oh, Swamiji has said you have to go beyond, so I don't bother. I have done a mistake. Because of that, people are saying, people scolded or people warned, people told, no, please don't do this. Then I cannot say that, oh, I don't bother about all these things because the scriptures have said, Adi Shankaracharya has said, go beyond. So then I don't give my attention to this. No, not that. We don't mean that. But emotional reaction should not be there. I mean, if someone criticizes us, we should make a evaluation whether is there a truth in that, whether is there any fact in that. If so, yes, we have to accept it and we have to thank them and we have to change ourselves. If not, then just like we clear the dust on the cloth or whatever, we can do that. Same thing with it is. People say, Swami, it is good to say, easy to say, but difficult to practice. I said, who says practice is easy? Practice is difficult, no doubt, but possible. Yeah, it may be difficult, but possible. The more and more you practice, you can be happy, isn't it? So your happiness will not be disturbed easily by people. If you want that state, please practice. I keep saying that. I think there's a beautiful, what do you say? In Swami Vivekananda's life, there's a beautiful incident. Once Swami Vivekananda was just sitting in a US, it happened in Chicago. He had been to one hotel and he was sipping his coffee. Then he went and he ordered the coffee and he was sipping. I mean, in the next table, an American was there. In those days, and especially racism was too much. We all know that in Europe and America, the fellow, because Swamiji was a brown skin, so he thought probably he's from Africa or Negro or black or whatever. So he was basically, the American was not happy about him, about Swami Vivekananda. And he assumed that, Swami Vivekananda doesn't know English because he's from different country. He may not be knowing English. He thought, and he started using the abusive language. Very abusive language, he started using it. Swami Vivekananda, as if nothing happened, just he was enjoying his coffee. He finished his coffee. It probably 10, 15, 20 minutes it would have been. And he was just listening all the abusive language and he was enjoying his coffee as if he doesn't understand. The American fellow, because after a few sentences he saw there is no reaction with Swamiji, then he thought, oh yes, now it is confirmed that he doesn't know English. Then he continued his abusing nature. Then while going, when he spoke with the person who supplied the coffee by paying the few dollars and etc., he heard, then he came to know that Swami Vivekananda knows a beautiful English. Swami Vivekananda is good at English and beautiful English. This fellow started feeling uneasy and he asked, my dear, I was abusing you, I was scolding you and all. Then why didn't you react? Why didn't you why didn't you say anything? How can you keep so calm, composed nature? Swami Vivekananda just very smilingly, with a smile, all smile on his face, he said, see, my dear, I am not seeing the fools for first time. It was a tight slap on that fellow. He bent his head and Swami Vivekananda walked away. See, like this, we may be facing similar situations, or maybe good, or maybe still worse situations. But how do we respond? We have to understand. We react and we get into the trap. We should not react. We should, if at all required, we should respond. So this is what we are saying. Otherwise, what happens? Our mental energy, emotional energy goes in vain. Lot of mental disturbance, unnecessary stress, unnecessary depressions, unnecessary complexities, ego clashes, and interpersonal relational problems. All these things, creeps in. So you have to understand all these things. And one more thing is, there was no perfect world, there is no perfect world, and there will be no perfect world. Perfect world is an utopia. Oh, earlier, 50 years before, 100 years before, the world was nice, society was nice, and now things have gone bad. That's how we keep on hearing from elders. It is not so. So always the society has got its own ups and downs. In some aspect, things were good. In some aspects, they were not good. Now, in some aspects, there are good, things are good. In some aspects, they are not good. They have gone to darks. So like this, it will be keep on changing, but there was no perfect world. Why? Because the world is like a dog style. Dog style can never be straight. It is always curved only, isn't it? So similarly, there was no perfect world. There is no, and there will be. So understanding it, and only the perfectness or the perfect is my inherent nature is perfectness. So perfection. So unfortunately, or with a wrong understanding, I am trying to see that perfection in the world, in the empirical world, that we should start looking into inside. Now, Janakrupa Naishturya Musrijjata. Give up or save yourself from the meshes of pleasing other people or public. So this is also very, very important. Interestingly, I've seen in one of the house. Here she's a good person, no doubt. Probably every day they were doing a prayer or meditation or a worship or worship. Because that day guests came. So they were doing more worship or more seriously worship. Why? Just to show for people or to show the guests that I'm very spiritual in nature, I'm very religious in nature. And because of that, after worship, then the guest said, oh, my dear, how religious you are, how spiritual you are such a saintly person. Then oh, no, I'm not of that, like that. Okay. That's okay. So inside I'm aspiring for that praise, And that's the reason I was doing said 15 minutes of worship, and that day I did 25 minutes or 30 minutes of worship. So there I have become the slave for someone's praising. If they praise, fine, I'm happy. And if they don't praise and they keep quiet, then what happens? Did they see my worship or not? If they have seen, why are they keeping quiet? Then it triggers my mind. Oh, what has happened? What happened? Why they didn't praise me? Why didn't they praise me? It can disturb me. So that feeling can reflect in my personality or in my relationship or in my conversation with the guest or whatever. That's one thing. Second, I wanted a prize from them. I was expecting the prize from them, good words. Then I did a show of my worship. Then he or she is a well established or a good person in the worship. Then he said, you were doing worship, fine, but there were some mistakes in the worship, in the rituals or the customs or whatever. There were the mistakes and the flaws, kindly correct it. So we were expecting a prize from them. Instead of getting a prize, we got blame from them. We got some corrections or suggestions for corrections. So again, my mind get disturbed. My mind can get disturbed. So we have become the slaves for someone's seal. I am bright, I am good, I am not good, etc. Because of that, we are again getting disturbed and we are easily can be manipulated by people. I mean, people do manipulate. For example, they want to make us to listen to them. Every day they were talking with us. Every day they were dining with us. Suddenly they will stop dining that day. They will show indifference. So that immediately will start reacting. Why didn't you sit with me today to lunch during office? Then I will start thinking. Then second day, third day, I will go and ask, or I will ask, or I will try to find out through someone else. So people can manipulate our emotions also. Doesn't mean that I have to neglect the people and the society or whatever. No, but we should not be unnecessarily victim of this praise and blame. So this is what the 32nd discipline is telling. So all these things are told by author is right. Save your energy. Don't waste your mind. Don't waste your life. Don't waste your time and energy for trivial things, for small things. So think big, think big, think big. Swami Vivekananda keeps on saying that. When you start aspiring for higher values, higher virtues, all these things has to be dropped off. I'm aspiring for higher things and I'm not able to leave the lower things, then the spiritual life is not possible. Many of us, we feel, Swamiji, I'm practicing meditation or other disciplines for a long time, but still I feel there is no progress. Why? Because these trivial things, small things, we might not have thought over and we might not have given up. As a result, we have been bound by these small trivial things. So we have to be very careful. And similarly, I've seen a person, whoever gives, whoever praises him, whoever puts his name in a well manner, in a bigger manner, in a well seen place, he used to give the charity. So knowing his weakness, people used to say, oh, sir, you are such a great person. You are a man of charity. Because of that, the society is good, the country is there, and we are getting rains because of you, such a noble-hearted people. Like that, they used to put unnecessary stepney, unnecessary blowing the air, and they used to get some money for their charity purpose or for their work purpose. And his ego is to get blown up from these things. And many times he got into trap. And as a result, in the longer run, he had to face a lot of difficulties. Why? Because if he had a good intention, helping people, good nature, he had a good nature, no doubt. Good intention was there, but he had only one weakness, that he was the victim of the prize. Kirti, we say in the in Kannada or Sanskrit. So I want name and fame. I want glorification, self-glorification. So whoever does that, I am ready to go to any extent to help such and such a person. So that's how we get victimized by all these things. That's how easily people can manipulate us by blaming us or by praising us. So we have to go beyond all these things. That's what the author means that. Because it is a natural tendency for all of us, expecting praise from people, for that we are ready to do some things or anything another thing. But it is like a web where if you get into it, slowly, slowly, you will be caught in that mesh in the web, then you will be having a difficult times. And also it brings unnecessary problems. And it's also like you can see attention drawing syndrome is there. In psychology, it is called attention drawing syndrome. Some people, they don't keep quiet. Okay, you have come to, say, Ashrama, for an example. We said hello, hi, and we kept quiet and we continued our work. They said, Swamiji saw me, he wished me, but he's not talking or he's not bothered about my presence. Then what happens? Then they will start conversations or they will try to draw my attention or our attention towards them and etc. Sometimes it may not be required, it may not be required. Unnecessarily they do it. Why? Because they want that attention towards them. Again, this is also a great problem for all of us. If you don't, if the people don't give you due attention, then you are disturbed. Your mentally you are disturbed. Your emotions are disturbed easily. When this type of mindset, definitely we cannot achieve the higher things. All the great people you see who have created history, if not most of them, they had most unfavorable circumstances, criticisms, blames, all these things, but they didn't really bother, and rather they keep on going, because they were chasing their goals, they were chasing their dreams. As a result, slowly, slowly, the world accepted. But instead of that, if we give our attention, give our mind energy for small trivial things, all these small praise and blame for name, all these things, then what happens? Then unnecessarily we get carried over and we can't achieve many things or higher things. Forget about spiritual life. Even in the mundane life, we cannot achieve many higher things. I mean, that's where I think in Jivan Mukti Viveka, there's a beautiful, what do you say, saying is there. If people are, what do you say, criticizing my body, what is the greatness in that? That's okay. Any of they're criticizing this body. The body is made up of skin, flesh, blood, and pus and other things. They're criticizing. Let it criticize. If they're criticizing the self, because I am the self, and if they're criticizing myself or the self, that means they are also self and I am the self. If they're criticizing the self and they are criticizing themselves, even then I need not to bother. If they're criticizing this body, they are taking away all my prarabdha karma, one thing. And second thing is, this body is made up of all this, what do you say, bone or blood and the muscles, flesh and all. Then why to bother so much? And they cannot really criticize self. If at all they are criticizing the self and they are criticizing themselves, that means in both the cases, I need not to bother. Oh mind, why are you bothering unnecessarily? What a beautiful auto suggestion. Because, and also I think in Buddha's case also, or even in the Upanishads also has been told, even whatever they say, praise and blame, they are nothing but the words and the sound, which goes and reaches only the mind. Mind is a weapon, mind is an instrument which is given by the nature for me to work out. I am neither the mind, nor the thoughts, nor the emotions, and when I am the self, then why am I reacting to it? I'm not supposed to react it actually from the spiritual point of view. So just for, see, even for example, Krishna is a Lord Krishna, is a Lord himself, and he descended on this earth to save the mankind, and he helped so many people. But in spite of that, he was severely criticized. He was bitterly criticized by his own people many times. But he never went morose. He never stopped doing good things. He never went into depression. When he listened all of them, he laughed at it and he was keep on going, he was keep on going. This can be the test. I mean, this can be the lesson, life lesson for all of us. Accept and rise above. Accept and rise above. Accept and rise above. I think there's a beautiful story probably I would like to tell. How we should live in the society, for an example. A donkey was chased by a few adolescent boys or a small gang, notorious gang. So the donkey was running to save its life. While doing that, there was a small bush came in between, shrub or a bush. Then it jumped. But unfortunately, the donkey was not aware. Behind the bush or shrub, there was a well actually. I mean, the water has been dried up. The well was there. And when the donkey took a leap, it was able to jump over the bush, but unfortunately, it went into the well. Now, there is no water, no doubt, but there's a dry well, and it went to the well. Now it is feeling bad about it, and it is thinking what to do and all. Now these adolescent guys, they got a good chance. They started throwing stones and the mud and whatever is available there. They were started throwing that. So the donkey was shouting. The donkey was shouting and telling that, please don't do that. Please don't do this. But they were keep on doing. They were keep on doing. A good amount of trash fell on his body. The donkey was feeling very bad about it. At some point of time, knowingly or unknowingly, consciously or unconsciously, it shook his body. Then all the trash fell down. And I mean, again, unconsciously, the donkey stood on the trash, probably 1 feet, at least 1 feet or 1.5 feet, it came above. Then donkey thought, it is a good thing. They are throwing the trash on me, no doubt, but I can use the trash as a stepping stone to come out from this well. Then it started making noises and it started shouting on them or whatever, its own way. And they got again irritated and they got activated and they started throwing more and more things actually. And the donkey made all of them as a stepping stone. At some point of time, it jumped out of the well and it ran and it saved its life. So like that, when the people make criticism, instead of going down, instead of letting our mind going down, we shall make a evaluation. Objective evolution we can make, and if there's any right, definitely we should accept and we should correct ourselves and we should improve ourselves. If not, just we should neglect it or use that as a stepping stone for my success, for one's own success. This is what all the great people have done in their lives. Swami Vivekananda was not spared. Holy Mother Sharda Devi was not spared. Jesus Christ was not spared. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is not spared. Saint Francis of Assisi is not spared. Or Ramakrishna himself was not spared. All of them had to face criticisms. But they were not moved by this. They were not, perturbed by this. That's the difference between us and between them. So we have to accept it and we have to go beyond it. I think probably one more story probably I would like to tell from the Buddha's life. Purna by name is a disciple of Buddha. He felt that there was a place name called Shronapranta. It is a place, it is a name of the place, Shronapranta. It was known for the people who are really uncultured and uncivilized. So he thought because they are uncultured and uncivilized and most of in the thick forest, in the forest they are living. So I should go and give the message of Buddha. By that, they will become better human beings. That was the Purna's intention. Somehow he got that feelings inside. So he approached Buddha, he paid his respects, and he expressed his wish. Revered sir, please bless me. I would like to go to Shronapranta, that place, and I would like to teach your immortal message so that it will bring good for them and they become a better human beings. Buddha said, fair enough, very good, very good intention. But are you aware? I hope you are aware what type of people they are. They are very uncultured and uncivilized. Probably even they may kill you also. Or they may do harm for you. Are you aware of it, my dear? Purna said, yes, sir, yes, master, I'm aware of it. Okay, now you go and you want to give my message or immortal message, fine. If they scold you, if they abuse you, if they hurt you, what are you going to do? Purna said, I am very happy. I'll be very happy. What? Yes, because they are so good people. They are criticizing you, they are abusing you, they are hurting you, and you are saying that they are good people. How is it? No, because they are such a good-natured people, friendly-natured people, and compassionate people. They only scolded me. They only scolded me. They didn't beat me. I think that I should be okay with that. See how the magnanimity in his thinking. Then Buddha said, okay, say for discussion's sake, we think, okay, initially they scolded you, you didn't react, and they started physically manhandling. If they do physical handling on you, they try to beat you or whatever. Then what are you going to do? And he said, yes, still I will be happy and grateful to them. Why? Because they're beating. They didn't use any weapons to kill me, or they didn't use weapons to hurt me or make wounds or whatever. Still, I'm okay. Then they said, then Buddha said, okay, for discussion's sake, if they bring some weapon and if they try to create any wound and harm you, what are you going to do? Okay, at the most they may kill me. If they kill me, it is also good, so that at least I am getting relieved from this meshes of the body or this bondage. I have no complaints. Buddha said, all right, I was testing you. You are free to go and teach my message. You are free to go and deliver the message. That's how Buddha blessed the Purna, and Purna left. Now you see the magnanimity of a person. It is very difficult for all of us, no doubt, but this can be the ideal probably, and we can think of these things. At least we can practice to some point, so that we are not disturbed by small things, but trivial things and petty things, so that we can keep our mind to higher things. We can reserve our time and energy for higher things, and we can achieve higher things, and we can manifest the divinity. We can experience the peace, and we can experience the tranquility of our mind more and more possible by these spiritual disciplines. That is the reason the Adi Shankaracharya is telling all these spiritual disciplines. All these things will prepare our mind to experience my inherent nature, or to experience the God. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu. So this makes to complete 4 slokas actually. 4 verses we finished. One more verse is Sadhana Panchakam, 5 verses actually. So one more verse is there, which has got 4 lines, around 8 spiritual disciplines. So probably in few weeks we'll be able to complete it. And next week we have got a lecture in Trinity College by Swami Sarvapriyanji. So as a result, I think next Thursday also, unfortunately, will not be able to take a class. And again, after 15 days, we shall meet to discuss the Sadhana Panchakam. I think there's a question here. What are the practical ways to ensure the ego does not strengthen when you are doing any charity or charitable work? The sense of I am giving tends to arise very naturally. We have to work very hard to detach from the mind and body and remind ourselves that it was not mine to begin with. In that moment, are there small steps we can take? Yes, a few steps can be taken. Like the one probably which mostly I've heard from our senior monks is, I'm worshipping the Lord. We are bringing fruits or flowers, or I'm doing some charity, for an example. So either for monks or the householders or any needy people, for an example, I am worshipping my chosen deity. I am worshipping the Lord. So for an example, my chosen deity, Supreme Self is Shiva or Rama or Krishna or Ramakrishna. So by doing all this charity work, I am loving my master. I am worshipping my master. If this attitude is taken, then probably that will check the ego part. Because just like I love my mother and I'm serving my mother, I don't expect anything else, any reward from anyone, isn't it? So similarly, I love my chosen deity, I love my master, and to please him, I will be doing this service. I'm doing this charity. Probably the spiritual angle, if we can take, the ego can be, what you say, checked. Otherwise, like we are all human beings and we should feel for others. Love your neighbor as thyself, as Jesus Christ said. So is the humanistic, the first one is from spiritual aspect, I said. The second can be humanistic aspect. I'm a human being and there are fellow beings who are in need of some help. And by God's grace, I can do some help for them. I'm in a position to do some help for them. So why can't I extend my help so that I'm feeling for my fellow beings? This is a second thing. And the third is Salpamapyasya dharmasya trayate mahato bhayat. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. Even if you practice dharma little, it will save you from the great dangers. So now I'm doing a charity. I'm helping people. It is like a dharma or a charity, no doubt. I do get some punya, probably which will protect me at some point of my life where I'm facing a danger. danger need not be always physical danger only. There can be mental danger, emotional danger, like depression, stress, negative thoughts. So this charity might help for me to get out from all these dangers. So these are the three different angles I've given. Any of the angle, whichever is suitable to you, probably you can take it.